fucking cold, man.
You got your shirt off.
It's wet from sweat.
Oh, okay. You want to grab your shoes and you can sit over here, and I'm going to sit over here. You want water or anything?
Yeah. There's not a blanket, huh?
The best thing I got is
that paper suit.
A paper suit.
Can I get it?
Yeah.
Please.
Anything else? Water?
Yes, sir. Yeah. There's no way I can get this thing.
No, not yet.
Cool.
Let me take the... Open that up for you.
Why is this so fucking cold?
That's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Luis, my name's Jake.
Hold on. Are you recording already?
What's that?
Is that already recording?
No, I'm not recording anything right
Alright,
here.
cool. Just let me know.
These things are recorders.
Cool.
Alright, man, let me start off by just making sure that I have your info correct. Let's see, what do we got here? Alright, you are Luis Lino?
I am Luis.
L-I-N-O?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a middle name, Luis?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Marcolfo.
Can you spell it for me?
M-A-R-C-O-L-F-O.
Okay. And what's your date of birth, Luis?
1987?
6'5", 87?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm like 5'8", 5'9".
Okay. How much do you think you weigh?
Like 170.
Brown eyes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the address that you live at?
Won't live there no more.
Do you know what the zip code is there?
85042. I'm not that sure, sir.
I can look it up. What's your social?
Oof. Never knew it. I never do.
Okay. Do you have a phone number?
Never.
No?
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Okay.
But I did have 2 cell phones at the moment of arrest. With the weapon, I left next to the weapon 2 cell phones, which I
2 cell phones. Okay.
wish the reason why I did what I did.
Okay. You ever been arrested before, Luis?
Yes, sir.
What for?
For my first, from juvenile record or from? From juvenile record was petty graffiti to my 18th. It was a misconfusion, which I took the rap for. It was a stolen car. It was attempted joyriding, something like that. It came down to.
Oh, okay.
But I never did. I just took the rap. Crazy thing was that cops say see me at 4 in the morning driving while the guy from juvenile hall, one of my friends who was driving, we had left the car. Cops say he seen me, so they just took the rap. And the second of that was because I stole my dad's guns.
Okay. How long ago was that?
Years ago, last time I got in trouble was like in 2009, but the last time I got arrested was in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay. What?
Yeah, but I gave them a fake name. Like, I gave them Marcos Morioki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your mom's last name?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing in Ohio? You got family there, or?
No, I was working with the mafia, basically.
Oh, okay. Okay. What are you, transporting stuff out there? What were you doing?
Well, something like that. Like, I got to unload 100 kilos of coke at a time. I had to unload like probably 440 pounds off of New Jersey. Shit like that.
Okay. Okay. How did you get into that? Did you ever do prison time?
Yes.
Where at?
Douglas.
Douglas?
Yes, sir.
Was that for the theft or what?
For petty shit. I revoked my probation. They gave me like 6 months because I already had done 6 months off of that charge of the attempted the joyriding. I did some probation time, and I was on drugs at the time, so I wanted to get off of them. So I just told the lady to lock me up, and I revoked my probation to send me to prison for 6 months, something like that. And that was it.
Okay. And then the other one was the theft with your dad's gun or whatever?
1 year. Like 9 months, something like that.
Were both in Douglas, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what, were you on a 2-yard or a 3-yard?
2 and 3, yeah.
2 and 3? Okay. Alright. You get into any of the politics or anything there? Is that how you got hooked up with?
No.
No?
No. The politics out here is just stupid. That's why it came down to this right here.
Okay. So obviously you know why I'm here to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you've been through this whole thing before, so from an administrative standpoint, there's something else.
Before you read that, I know there's nothing that's gonna save my life anymore. It's done, it's over. But
let's go through this, and I wanna hear your side of the story. I wanna hear everything you have to tell me. Okay? I'm here to listen.
Man.
There's 2 sides to every story. Okay? And I wanna hear your side. Okay? So you have the right to remain silent. So tell me, how is it that you got into the whole Mexican mafia thing?
I'm not a metal. I'm not an metal. Like, I'm not.
Well, how did you get into
cartel?
Transporting stuff for the cartel? Which cartel?
There's a couple.
Well, I know, that's why I asked.
Check this out. All right. My family's from Sonora.
Okay.
All right. So at one point, I got to meet this man that he worked for the line. You know what the line stands for?
No, tell me.
The fires.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess they're very involved in Phoenix, which I don't give a fuck about them. But excuse me if you kind of don't understand me. It's just that it's just it's too much, man. Like,
well, help me understand. I'm going to do my best.
I don't know, but somebody said something that I was moving too much weight out here or something like that. Like, I don't know, they try to fucking make an example and they raped my mom for like almost a year.
Yeah. Okay.
In the I left those 2 cell phones. If somebody pays attention to those cell phones on the voice recording one, on the 3-hour one, because
so there's no cell service on them.
No, but there's voice record, and there's this app that records, right?
Yeah.
All right, this happened yesterday, and even the guy from behind our house, he knows this guy that is very involved in the Mexican mafia type of shit. So I guess he reports to them. You know, they run every single gang out here. So it's very easy to have one of your neighbors make a hit on you. If they just call it and they'll do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This kid, Ryan, the kid I got, he's a VGL kid. Watch my fucking house, bro. There's V's.
What do you mean a VGL kid?
The Barrio Guadalupe, the gang.
Okay.
There's
Mario or Guadalupe Locos?
Yeah, those fucking dumb fuck.
You have a lot of family that lives in Guadalupe, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Hell no, I ain't got no family out here.
You don't have any family that stays in Guadalupe?
No, officer. I have no family whatsoever.
No family at all?
No whatsoever.
Who do you...
I have 2 sisters, 1 dad, 1 mother, and that's it. I have family out here.
Oh, okay.
I ain't got no family out
Where's
here.
everybody else?
Mexico. They're probably dead right now. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Cause my mom.
Have you lived here your whole life?
A little bit. I've been out there in Mexico. This last couple of years, I've been fucking around with it out there in Mexico.
Where were you born?
Here in Phoenix.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you were born here, raised here.
Yeah. I have like.
But you've gone back and forth. You have family down there.
Do you have like
mostly in Sonora or?
Yeah, but I'm in the area where right now it's heavily they're going to Chihuahua and they're fucking killing. Like it goes down to there. That's why it's.
So when you go down there, what port of entry do you usually go through? Do you go through Agua Prieta or do you go? Okay. Well, and Agua Prieta goes like right through where you were in prison. It's right by Douglas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so are you working at all right now?
I stopped working also because I ended up getting back into drugs.
What kind of drugs do you do?
I use meth. It chills me out, bro. It honestly...
Snort, slam?
I smoke since short. I've had some time since, but my thing was smoking since I was 14 years old.
Yeah. When was
but it chills me the fuck out, like.
Yeah. When was the last time you smoked any?
Today.
Today?
Yeah.
When
I'm gonna bullshit. Couple hours. Couple hours
before this whole incident happened?
Yeah, I called the police officers too, and they said, "Look, man, your mom has to call the cops. She has to make a report." But my mom's so fucking scared because she's so fucking. They threaten her so fucking bad she cannot fucking. Dude, you could hear on the recordings where they fucking stick their dicks in my mom's mouth and make her gag for hours. Like.
How did you get those recordings?
Because I left the cell phones like hidden, officer.
Oh, okay. And when was that?
The last rape?
Yeah.
Maybe it's happening right now. That's we're speaking.
Well, it's not happening right now because I happen to know that your mom is with police.
Thank you so much. All right. Look. Even my fucking neighbors are cartel members. I heard them chop a body up the first fucking week that they lived there.
Yeah. Which neighbors are you?
On the right side of the house. They never work. They have houses by the bean yard. Like. It's fucking crazy, bro. None of them motherfuckers work. They all stay there. Flies on... Have you ever seen flies on November? The coldest days of Arizona?
I mean, sometimes, but not as many.
When they moved there were so many fucking flies. I was like, what's going on, you know?
Well, let me ask you this. You smoked meth...
Wow, you think
I guess this
fucking freaked out?
No, I'm just trying. Like I said, I'm trying to understand.
Jeez,
it's now Monday because it's after midnight. So yesterday, or before this incident happened, you smoked some meth. Where do you get your meth from?
bring my damn self. I used to just bring it a little bit, and it would just last me a whole year for my personal use.
You would bring it, when you say you bring it, I interpret that as you bring it from Mexico. Am I interpreting that correct? Okay. So you obviously don't bring it through the port of entry.
I did.
You did?
Yes.
How do you get it through the port of entry?
Just walk through it. Like in my
you
pocket.
You wouldn't go through with a vehicle, you
No,
just go
no,
over
no.
the walking bridge. Okay. How much meth would you say, how often do you do meth?
Since I stopped working, when I was working, everything was great. I was like, it'll be a weekend thing, like just fiddle with it, like 0.2 off of a gram.
Okay.
Just a little, you know?
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay. And then, so now, how long has it been since you worked?
A week, something like that. I had a check coming in, my last check, and that's it.
Okay.
It
Now,
was great.
in that week since you stopped working.
I do, yeah, okay. I had those recordings from those months that I was on it, you know? But, look.
Well, my question is, since you stopped working, how often are you using meth? Every day?
Not every day.
How often would you say you're using meth since you quit working?
Every other 3 or 4 days, something like that.
Okay.
But, okay, I got kicked out.
A few times a week.
Okay. I got kicked out, and, I ended up...
Kicked out of where?
Huh?
You got kicked out or freaked out?
No, I got tweaked out, I said.
Oh, tweaked out, okay.
I got tweaked out, and I just decided to go through the recordings, you know? The ones I had from the past from a SD card memory card. And because there were so many recordings for hours and hours that I just didn't check. I thought, my mom was like, no, you're just hallucinating, and my neighbor, like, every single time that I would go in my room, I would just lock the room and just stay there, you know? And I thought that they had a little speaker or whatever where it made me, like, I was thinking, like, wow, am I hallucinating? Inside the house, was I hallucinating? I'll be like, wow. Because every single time I would go inside the house and I would stay in my room doing my fucking masturbating shit, whatever, you know? I would hear like, me están violando, they're raping me. And I will open the door and rush in and check on my mom. And it kept on happening until one day
What would you find when you went in there?
I would find my mother just sleeping most of the time. But I would pass certain limit of the house and it would just shut down. It kept on continuing until one day I heard like, shut up, but I never opened my mom's door because I thought I was like tweaking out. And then I heard the neighbors, one of the back door neighbors named Pablo Lopez, I heard his daughter like say like, yes, like got him. Like, and I looked at my mom. I never opened the door. A couple hours later, and she was just like all like she's been crying, you know. She just was rolled up like this, and I was like, "You okay?" And she's like, "No, just leave me alone." And then one time she only said, "Maybe allow," and then I reacted. I said, "What?" And she's like, nah. And then I was like, no. And then the neighbors, one of them said, you told him. And that's when I started, like, the neighbors, I was like, what the fuck? And then Pablo Lopez, too, said, I did it, yo la violé. From his house, you know? But he will never fucking... This
is the guy that lives behind.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Look, officer, you could ask my neighbors. They know all that mess and everything.
Tell me about the guy that lives across the street.
Yeah, okay.
You know his name?
Who, Javier?
Yes. How do you know Javier?
Alright. Javier moved in like a couple years ago to the neighborhood. I never had no interest in speaking to him. None whatsoever. I just kept him to myself all these fucking years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I just decided, because he will be smoking weed all the time in front of my house, you know? And I was like, I never thought about nothing, you know? Like, every day. There's a side of the house where the trees, the back door neighbor, he has the little tree house, you know? I don't know if they could signal each other, but I was thinking like, wow, that's a very good spot for it if this guy wants to like communicate, you know, like a little flashlight or a signal, and like, hey, he's in his house or whatever. Check this out. I got some mess from Mexico. I brought it in. I told him, yo, I'm gonna get some mess. Like, you think you could sell this shit out here in your hood in Guad? And he's like, fuck yeah. I was alright. I'll sell it to you for like an 8-ball for like $25. He's like, cool. So the next day I brought it, and then again I started like selling it, like fronting, and this motherfucker just took advantage. And
what do you mean he took advantage?
He will get fronted. I would just give it to him, you know.
How much would you front him?
Like it's just 8 balls at a time.
Okay.
And he would take like a couple 2-3 days just to pay me that money. But I was like.
How often were you fronting him an 8-ball?
Almost every two days. Almost every 2 days.
Okay.
And it came down to like, I was like, it's not really worth fucking with this kid because it wasn't working out, you know.
Was he paying you?
Yeah, he was paying me and everything, but it wasn't working out because it was just a little bit of money. Anyways, but what I'm trying to please have patience with me.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. Well, I never knew there's a tax, you know? You like get mafia because their tax of the drugs. So this piece of shit probably found one of the phones that I had from this other guy. And they seen the pictures, like keys, bunches of money, and stuff like that. He probably said that I'm the owner of that cell phone or whatever. And people got involved, new neighbors. Those neighbors that never worked, they're right there, probably monitoring every single fucking movement I do, everything.
So just so I understand this right, at one point, how long ago was it that you were running dough for the cartel?
Like 2 years ago, something like that.
Okay, so 2 years ago you're running dope for the cartel and you're moving some pretty significant weight.
Yeah, I got some. Yeah.
Okay.
The last one was probably one key from New Mexico to Columbus, Ohio through the Greyhound.
But so you just found out now, recently, that they tax you for that.
Well, something like that. Yeah, you could say something like that.
But when you were moving weight for them, you didn't know that.
Look, check this out. I had like.
Are you saying that they're taxing you just because you're selling dope in their hood?
Something like that too. At the same time, they got disrespected because something like that. But okay, check this out.
Did you ever get caught up in the gang scene?
Nah, I'm not with that shit.
Not at all?
No, I like money. That was about it. No violence.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school?
I didn't.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
No.
I worked.
Okay.
Like,
what was the last grade you completed?
Shit, none.
You didn't
I just went through 8th grade and.
Where'd you go to 8th grade?
Sage.
Okay.
School for the Advanced and Gifted Education, which is no longer there, on 32nd Street and by passing Thomas, going north of Thomas. It's a little school, looks like a little office. It's a preschool, K through 8 now, something like that.
Is it like ombudsman or something now?
It's a little school. I don't know, like, it looks like a little
Kind of in
daycare
that
place.
strip mall, kind of over by Home Depot.
Something
East of
like
Home Depot.
some area like that. Yeah.
36th Street. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but alright, I ended up, because it didn't work out, like, the money, like, all the work I did, like, the guy that I worked for, he owed so much money, so it was complicated, you know? It was not worth it, none of this shit was worth it.
So as far as Javier was concerned, was he paid up with you?
Yeah, but he was raping my mother.
Okay.
Every other fucking day. Look, man, all I did was I just tried to help this fucking kid, and they fucking just took advantage of it, the situation, and I was just.
When you say you were trying to help him,
Like, I was like, yo, man, like, I will see him, I was like, he's no sweet and everything, but he smokes crystal meth a lot too. But, that's some shit.
when you went over there tonight, why were you going over there?
Because I knew my mom was raped last night.
Okay.
And I just had enough. I had enough because I couldn't, I'm not the type that, hey, like, what the fuck, you know, like, I'm gonna start some shit, you know? I'm the type that has to have a little bit of evidence. You could push me. I won't do until I just have enough. The neighbor said, the neighbor in the backyard, he will fuck with me. And, like, I wouldn't fuck with them, you know? Like, they try to make me look like some piece of shit, you know? I was like, why is he starting so much shit with me if I haven't done nothing to him, you know?
Uh-huh.
He wanted my attention. I don't know what the fuck he wanted, but all I know, man, is that I'm not gonna get to live no more.
So at what point did you decide that you were gonna go over
and kill this fucker
and confront, to Javier? When did you make the decision to do that?
Look, man, I didn't want to do what I did, but it had to stop. I called you guys. I called the police. Every single, look, man, I'm not a snitch or anything like that, but, like, it's not like my mom would not defend herself. She was so scared. She probably was threatened of her family, my life. She was probably threatened, like, and she thought that by not saying a word that she was protecting me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that made it worse because sometimes I had left one recording by the door one day, and I heard him say, like, Javier said, I fucked your mom. I pushed that recording, I couldn't fucking believe it. I forgot the unlocking code on my phone, or they fucking switched it because I could never fucking find it. It was a simple code 5, you know? And one day I go to the liquor store or whatever, I come back and I try to, because I left the recording right there, like that phone, because it records pretty good. And next thing you know, I couldn't unlock it. So I was like, wow. Then they coded my phone, you know? Mm-hmm. So I couldn't go get those recordings because I wanted to show my dad, like, oh, Dad, this is happening. He couldn't believe it. Because he asked my mom. And my mom was like, he's so embarrassed, you know?
Where does your dad live?
Where does my dad live?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But he stays out here in Arizona.
Okay.
I tried to tell him, and he's like, and he talked to my mom, and he's like, no, that's not true. That's not true. There's various people that day I went to rape my mom. One day, I had a friend named Jose Camargo. His mom is involved heavily on the false identity shit on one of my mom's old phones. Man, when I tell you this, don't think that I'm just some fucking tweaked out loser, you know? Some tweaked out drug addict or whatever. I heard her voice like calling, like, you know, like they're into the false identity type of stuff. And I guess my mom's identity probably, it's stolen. Sometimes she gets $50 taken from her bank account or whatever, but I think it's more they're gonna take her house. Why? You know, like it goes deep. Like they wanna hit the house. You know. Who's that? Well, I guess the Mexican Mafia's people. Because the guy that I used to chill with, look, man, I'm going to give you a lot of names because I don't care about my life, but my mom's, they're going to hit my mom.
And I want you to tell all that stuff. I want to hear all that stuff, okay?
They're going to hit my mom, well, man, they're going to fucking probably make it look like an accident. My mom just had recently knee surgery,
right?
And it was pretty good because I will rub it every other hour, you know? I will stay with her, and I stayed with her for the day that happened. I was with her, and I seen that knee, and it was all right, you know. This last couple of days, they're in the paper, her fucking legs, bro, is fucking twisted. That old lady, my mom, getting raped. You know, in one of those recordings, you could hear her fucking, like when words are like, then you could hear her. Me rodilla, like what the fuck is wrong with those fucking fucks, you know? Like what the fuck's wrong with them? Why wouldn't they want to just kill me? I would have been cool with that.
Yeah. Well, so you correct me if I'm wrong, you said that you have a recording from the day before.
Yes.
Okay. That was Javier. And so you listened to that recording, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
And it probably made her smoke meth too, because I seen her. She was just on her phone, like real. And I looked at her eyes. She would not want to make eye contact with me, man.
And what did Javier say on that recording, or what was on that recording that you?
Look, this was my fuck up. Months ago, I told him, "Hey, yo, man, is that you coming inside my house?" I confronted Javier, and he's like, "Nah, bro, that ain't me." I was like, "You sure?" Because I heard a smile. One day I heard his fucking dog, or they call him Buddy, and the dog, he likes, because I have female dogs, I heard him like bark right there at the fucking, like by the door. And then I left those recordings, one of those phones, by the door. And all you could hear is like some steps like, and then he moves the door now. And I heard him say, "Fuck." And then I told him, "Yo, man, I heard your voice too." And he's like, you know, like he just shut up. He's like, you know? That's why I was like, that's my fuck up, because I told him there's recording. Next thing you know, when they start going back into my house, they're like, shh. Why? Why would they? And no more talking. No more talking. Last night or whatever, what time is it right now?
1:30.
Alright. Yesterday, and like at 2-3 in the morning, whatever, somebody said that nobody says nothing. Sometimes it just, I was outside in the yard. I thought something was going to happen, so I was in the backyard, so I was making myself easy to get, you know, if one of my neighbors wants to hop the fence, and, you know, but no, I was waiting outside for a couple hours, and I left at my dad gave my mom a phone for my Down syndrome uncle, and it has a recording thing. So I was like, oh, perfect. Maybe I could record a little bit if something happens here. And I stayed. I stayed. How can I say this? I was in the backyard and I just decided to turn it on, And it was for 3 fucking hours, the recording. And those 3 hours, I was outside. I took it. 2 hours is just bullshit, And then you could hear my voice and say, "I got you." I was just bullshitting around, But I left it in there. Next thing you know, you could hear in that recording, you could hear where something one of the dogs walked up to the door, And I was looking at that and I was like, that's kind of strange, And it gave me a weird feeling inside, and I was like, oh, something's not fucking good, man. Something is not fucking good, because I could hear something from the back of the house. From the back of the house where I was sitting at, I could hear like something like if my mother was being, but I was like trying to ignore it because I was like, maybe they're just playing games because of the taller than ever. Sometimes I could just hear like barely like couple steps, So I was like, oh man, something fucked up is happening. As soon as I tried to get back in the house, it would just shut down. No fucking noise. I was like, oh fuck. I walked in the door and everything. There's a fucking sliding door right there. Mm-hmm. I slide the door and everything, and there's my room right there, and I ended up getting a cleaver and a big old hammer, and then there's the kitchen right there. It's to the right. It's a hall. Mm-hmm. And there was a room, and then my mother's room, and then the restroom. Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck. I did not want to go. I felt something like, damn, too quiet. And my mom would say something, It was too fucking quiet, too fucking quiet. I was like, wow. And I opened and closed it and went through, and my mom wouldn't come out. I was like, oh man. I was fearing kind of the worst, but I was like, man, this is an ambush. It's gonna be an ambush. In the recording, you could hear when I step in, probably a couple minutes before I step in, one of them says, "Get ready." You just hear it. You guys have to have headphones. Please wear headphones if you guys get a chance to listen to the recordings. Please do. You could hear when he says, "Get ready." And then you could hear me sliding to the door. How can they know that I'm going to come in? Because somebody's giving them a heads up, I ended up getting those 2 weapons, and then you could hear one of them say, what is he doing? And then he's smart. And then after all that, you could hear one of them fucking fucks say, "Chúpame la word," to suck his dick. You could hear that shit, and you could hear it because they have noise going and going, like the tumbler of the fucking yes, to make background noise, Mm-hmm. You could hear when that guy says "Chúpame la." And what the fuck, man? And my mom's like fucking quiet, like she won't say a fucking word. And this motherfucker, he said, I overheard him one day say, "I fucked your mom." So you know what? I had fucking enough. So I just decided, you know what? This motherfucker ain't got no fucking balls. He ain't gonna admit to me what he's doing. Uh-huh. And when I started threatening the neighbor, before I would do anything, this motherfucker would call my mom and be like, yo, they threatened my mom so bad where he can call my mom, and for every little thing that I would do, she would be screaming at me. I would be like, what's going on? Why is they making my mom just scream at me, Mm-hmm. And until the other day where I found out, so I kept on fucking with him. I would throw rocks and I would fucking be screaming yo, violador, come outside, you fucking rapist. He wouldn't even call my mom. he just shut the fuck up, you know? And then he was like, "Hey, what's your friend, Javier?" He said it a couple times. And then the other night, I was like, I know they'd be listening, you know? I was like, "Yo, I got fucking rapists for fucking neighbors." And then nobody would say nothing until like a couple hours later, they would say something, shout it out the window, you know? When I would try to record, sometimes there was just no words. Nobody would say anything. Once I knew I would turn that off, they will start their shit, you know. But this is constantly, you know.
So you have all of this stuff going on, and you have a pretty good idea of what it's all about. At what point did you decide that you needed to do something about it?
All the time, man. It was like, I was like, fuck, man. How am I gonna help myself? Like, how am I gonna help if my mom just does not wanna say like, yo, it was these people? But it's various people, bro. Like, one day you could hear like, he read my one as well. He's like, you could hear. I thought I was hallucinating, bro. The dad I heard, and then man. One day Pablo is like, ahí está, aquí está, and I was like, what the fuck? Or then one day.
But at what? So there's various people that are involved in this. But at what point did you decide you needed to do something about Javier?
I just had enough because my mom today in the morning, like, I knew they gave her meds or whatever, and she was like passed out. Like, there was pills on, and she never takes pills. There was pills on her side of the, and you could hear someone say she's barely breathing. That's when I decided to go check on my mom and not leave her.
What was going on with your mom when you went in there?
She was like barely breathing, like
she was asleep.
Yeah, like barely breathing, and her like they barely put on the clothes, like they barely put on the clothes, and
she had clothes on,
like, or like a fucking like the sabana, the fucking blanket.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck? And there's this jumping rope on the bottom of her, and I overheard, like, you know, because they don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I overheard one of them say that the thing that they tie her legs.
So you're telling me that you decided yesterday morning that you needed to do something about Javier and what was going on?
It was just an instinct. I just had enough, bro. I had enough.
So you decided sometime in the morning yesterday. Was it before or after the police came to your house in the morning? Because you had called the police in the morning, right? And they came out to your house early, like 6-something in the morning.
Yeah. I called them since like 4, something like that, and they took.
So then, was it sometime after that you decided you needed to do something about Javier, or before that?
I don't know, like, he left to work or whatever just to get the fuck out of the neighborhood. And once he came back.
What time did he come back?
I don't know, but I just noticed his car right there and that rust with the weapon. That rust over there.
Where did you get the weapon from?
The fucking cabinet. I just grabbed it and ran over.
The cabinet at your house?
Yes, sir. I just ran and confronted him. I was like, man.
At what point did you decide that you were going to use a knife? Or is that just all that you had, or?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay.
That's all that I had.
So had you decided that you were going to use that particular knife? Or
no particular knife. I just grabbed it and I opened the door and I fucking put it in my pocket and just like, yo.
Where was Javier when
he was opening the door at the moment?
Okay.
I caught him and I was like, yo, homie, hold on. Bang! Stuck him.
Where at?
I wanted to get him by his heart, but I guess I missed.
How many times did you stab him?
One time. Is there more?
There were multiple stab wounds, yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I must have blacked out. I don't even remember one, officer.
Okay.
Wow.
So the one that you do remember, where did you stab him? Was it in the back, the
What
front,
the
the arm,
fuck?
the chest? Where was it at?
I only remember hitting his chest area.
I'm not saying that you hit his. I'm asking you the stab. You said you remember stabbing him once.
Yes.
I'm asking, where did you stab him?
Somewhere in this area.
Okay, so what you're pointing at is the front of his torso in his chest area. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When you stabbed him that time that you remember, what happened after that?
He just walked over. He's like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy." I was like, "Fuck no, you fucking raped my mom." And then he just walked. He ran to his neighbor. And he fucking started screaming and knocking at the door like real hard and shit. And then I just went up and I spit in his face and I told him, "You fucking rapist." And that was it.
Where was
That
he
neighbor
at?
Where
was he at when you spit in his face?
Sitting down in that bleach, bleeding out.
Okay.
And I just walked up but I never used the knife after that. I don't think so.
Okay. Now, what did you do with the knife after that, or where did you?
I went and sit down. I went and sit down on the curb, waiting for the police. I went to sit down.
Did you go anywhere before you went to the curb?
Yeah, I decided to go back inside, and my mom was like, "Yo, what's up with all this screaming?" I was like, "Nothing."
Where did you go inside your house?
To the door where the garage is at.
The carport door?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go anywhere else?
No, and then I just went back outside to the street, and that was it.
Okay. Why did you go back outside to the street?
Because I wanted to wait for you guys.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned that you would put the cell phones next to the weapon in the car earlier. When did that happen?
Okay, I kind of thought about like, damn, I have the opportunity to run it. So I was like, no, this has to end, you know. The cops have to know like what's going on with my mom. You know, so this has to end, you know.
Okay.
This has to end.
So, obviously, when did you put the cell phones in there? Before or after you stabbed Javier?
After, I believe.
After?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those cell phones, I will try to protect them as much as possible.
Did you put them in the car?
Yes.
At the same time that you put the knife in the car?
Yes.
Okay. Was the car unlocked when you got there?
Yes.
Okay. Did you unlock the car before you went
over? The door from the driver's side is fucked up. It's locked.
Okay. So before you went over there, had you decided you were going to put those things in the car? Afterwards?
After what I did, I put those things in the car.
Okay. So you had not decided that you were going to try and get rid of those things or put those things somewhere that you felt was safe?
That's the safest spot I felt at the moment because I knew that you guys were going to come.
Okay.
So I wanted to get all
those things in the car and then you went into the house?
No, I did not put those things in the car. Like, alright, I stabbed him, I went inside the house, grabbed the 2 cell phones, because I knew Dad was going to get arrested.
Where were the cell phones at?
In my room, in the house, and yeah.
Okay, so you stab him?
Yes. Go back inside the house.
Have you already gone over and spit in his face?
Yeah.
Okay, you go over, you spit in his face as he's sitting on that bench in front of the neighbor's house. Then you come back over to your house.
Mm-hmm.
You go
get the cell phone
inside and get the cell phones from your room.
Yes.
You still have the knife with you at this point?
Yes. I never left the knife out.
Where's the knife at? Well, are you
I was holding it on my left hand, like so my mother wouldn't see, you know.
Okay.
In a certain way.
And then you go into your room. You get the cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you walk out of your room.
Mm-hmm.
And you go and you put the cell phones and the knife in the car.
Yes, sir.
And then you go sit on the curb and wait for the police to get there. Okay.
But the cops see me like, they didn't see me because the way, look man, I seen his family just pull the fuck up like 2 cars, like choom, 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 like I was like, oh shit. They responded quick, faster than you guys. I was like, whatever. Fucking.
So then, now, you said that after you met with the police this morning, you decided something needed to be done. This morning,
I called the cops. And they took their time. Look, man.
Well, but let me finish asking my question real quick, and then maybe that will help you answer. So they came out. You decided something needed to be done with reference to Javier after they came out.
He's the first one. The other guy.
Was it at that point in the morning that you decided you needed to kill Javier?
No.
When did you decide you needed to kill him?
It was not like I had it to do it. Like
you were in a position where you felt as though you needed to protect your mother. Am I correct? Okay. So at what point did you decide that killing Javier was the only way that you could protect your mom?
When I seen the vehicle. When I seen the vehicle, his vehicle.
When you saw him drive up?
I never saw him drive up. I seen the vehicle and I was like, let me get him. That was it.
Had you decided that you were going to kill him prior to that, or
no,
in that moment?
It was in that moment.
Okay.
Look, officer, whatever, I don't care how you cook, whatever you want, but just help out my mom. You know? Cause
well, like I said, your mom's safe right now. There's officers with her. Okay. Let's take a break for a second. Do you need anything else? Okay. All right, hang out here for just a second, and I'll be back momentarily, okay?
Look, there's another name I want to give you.
Jose. Who's Jose?
I guess he's one of right now. He's running the show of moving drugs or whatever. And
for who?
For Mexican Mafia.
Okay. How do you know him?
I know him from his mention, but I guess he's one of the guys too that was raping my mother.
You heard him on the recordings?
She's walking first, this piece of shit too. Huh?
You heard him on the recordings as well?
No, sometimes I always hear his name, like people say, like if it was gonna scare me, you know, like they'd be like the mix, you know.
Okay. All right, hang out for just a second, okay?
Officer, can you
need anything else? Okay. Luis. How we doing, man?
Sleepy. Guys, lay here.
No, nothing to say. So I just want to understand this timeline a little bit better. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, where were you when you realized that Javier had come home?
Okay. My dad had came. I'm gonna talk to you, alright? Just like my dad had came to the house. He brought chickens, half a piece of chicken, some weenies, and some vegetables. The weenies are for the dogs, and the vegetables is for our big old turtle. And I really sometimes I just go to the back of the house, you know. And I was just playing with my dog, kicking the ball, you know. I have this little room. And I was playing with the dog and everything, and he was helping my mom with the shoe rack, and putting it together and everything. And then I get some chicken and I eat it, and then my mom decides to go to the backyard. She decides to go to the backyard to go and clean, you know, or like to just. Her thing is to wash the plants, you know, to give them water. So I was like, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the backyard. I was like, hold on. She's hold on. I'll go and clean the dog poop. And she's like, you know, I like to do that anyway. To go to the backyard and everything. So I was like, cool. I go and finish my chicken real quick, and then I go get a glove. And from the glove, I go get a bag So I started cleaning, started cleaning and everything. She's like, and I'm helping remove the water hose so she won't trip or anything like that. The best I can, I was just trying to help her out. As soon as I seen the car, I just felt like.
So where were you when you saw the car though?
I was in the backyard, like I said.
In the backyard.
Yeah.
Okay.
With my mom.
And where in the back, where in the backyard are you standing to where you can see their driveway?
Like I said, on one side of the house, you could see you could barely see where I parked the car I drive, the Red Explorer.
Uh-huh.
All right, the house is right here. Let's say this is facing south, it is, and this is the west side of the house, and this is the east side where we park cars. And where we park cars is there's this little wooden fence,
Uh-huh.
and then there's this little room right here, and then from right here I could see, So I barely seen the house. It's right there. I didn't see it pull up or anything. I just seen it there.
Okay.
And then, bang.
So then, when you see, you said it's the Civic is the car he drives? So when you see the Civic, which hadn't been there before, right, then what happens after that?
I lose it. I lost it. I just couldn't control myself.
Okay, but where do you go?
I ran straight to the kitchen. Straight
through
to
the backyard?
Huh?
Through the backyard?
No. Yeah, I was in the backyard at the moment. I seen the car go inside. You go to the rooms,
Uh-huh.
If you want, I could draw you a specification, exactly what I did.
Well, I'll bring a piece of paper in and you can do that. Okay. So you go through the backyard into the kitchen.
Right. Let's say this is the backyard, right?
Uh-huh.
And through that side is through the fucking side of the house. But I went through inside the house,
Okay. Which door did you use to go?
The back door of the house.
The back door of the house. Okay. So you go to the back door of the house. You go inside the house. Then what do you do?
Go straight to the kitchen, get the knife and go straight at him.
Okay. Where was the knife in the kitchen?
In the cabinet.
In a cabinet, like in a drawer? Or
yeah.
Okay. So you grab the knife. Then what door do you go out of when you leave the kitchen?
The door where the cars are at.
The carport door.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go out the carport door.
Yeah, I'm running over there.
You ran or you walked?
Yeah, I ran.
You ran across the street. Where's Javier at this point?
He was opening the door.
His carport door into the house. Okay. So, and then what happens after that? He's opening the door.
So hey, hold on real quick. And he looked at me like, huh? That was it. I stuck him. I don't remember, if you said I did it more than one time, I did not remember that. I only remember hitting him one time. And I told him, I said, you fucking rapist. You raped my mom. She's like, no, I didn't.
So after you stabbed him, did he try and fight back at all?
No, he couldn't. It was I guess, one time that I hit him, that was it for me.
Okay. After you stabbed him, then what happened? Did you stay there in his carport?
I just told him he was a fucking rapist. He had raped my mother.
Okay. Did he say anything to you?
Yeah, man, you think somebody's gonna try to say something bad when you have a knife on your hand? Fuck, no, he wouldn't admit to it,
Okay. So he doesn't say anything to you. Then where do you go?
He says, you're fucking crazy. That's all he said.
Okay. Now, when he went over to the house next door, did he run over there, stumble over there, walk over there?
He walked over there.
Okay.
Yeah, he walked pretty good. He was still in a good shape.
Okay.
He was in shock.
Did you follow him over there?
No, I didn't follow him. I walked a little bit towards the street, and then he ran. I was just trying to make I was just trying to make it known, like, look, I wasn't gonna just have him walk away, just like, you know. I wanted the cops to come and everything. I didn't want to run, you know. At the same time, it's like not my thing. Like, I didn't want the neighbors to think like, wow, he just stabbed him for no reason, you know. I was like, I wanted them to know, like, that's why I walked up to him, I spit in his face. When the guy opened the door, he came out with his pistol. He's like, hey, homeboy. I was like, hey, man, that motherfucker's a rapist. And he came out like, when he was like, I was like, he might use it against me, his weapon, and he has the right because...
So the neighbor came out with a pistol?
Yes.
Where were you standing when that happened?
Kind of by the sidewalk. But I just told him, he's a fucking rapist. He raped my mother, man. What the fuck, you know? He got what he deserved. Well, he didn't get what he deserved because I wanted him to get locked up with the other people. Well, I guess the other people ain't gonna get shit. I'm the one that's gonna be fucking him.
So when you stabbed him, you stabbed him, and did you want him to die? Were you intending for him to die?
I don't know, officer. I just wanted to stop, you know. I couldn't tell. What am I supposed to, like, hey, can you stop raping my mama, please?
Right, I understand that. So you stab, then police come, fire comes, all that kind of stuff. Do you know he's dead at that point?
No, he was still breathing. Because his family members were like, oh my god, you know, he's bleeding. But I seen the first squad car come through. I just decided, here I am. And then one of the guys wants to get tough, like, hey, what the fuck, bitch? And I was like, shut the fuck up, I got evidence, homeboy. Like, what the fuck? This shit been happening for a minute.
Yeah. When you went into your house after to get the cell phones from your room, was there any blood or anything that you cleaned up?
No, I just don't have to be wiping nothing. I just left it like how it was.
You didn't clean any blood up with a mop or anything?
No, sir.
No? Did you ever go in the laundry room?
I went to the laundry room.
What did you do in the laundry room?
I walked in there because, I don't know, I stabbed him out and then I walk in and I see my mom. She's like, what's up with all the screaming? It's for me to, like, I didn't want to tell her at the moment, yo, mom, oh, I stabbed this motherfucker, you know?
Why not?
Because I didn't want her to get hysterical at the moment, you know?
Okay.
I didn't want to, like, I was like, wow. If I can't, I don't want to, I know I'm fucked, but it's just, they wouldn't stop, man. They just wouldn't stop. My dog, sometimes...
When you did that to him, did you know that you were going to get arrested?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to run like a coward. Why to be my mom by herself and fucking... But at the same time, I fucked up because I left her by herself. They're going to continue doing what they're doing, watch. Well, you're not going to watch, but you're not even going to get to know because the ladies are not going to say nothing. Because of the fear they gave. That's so fucked up, man. Like, they don't give a fuck. They have no respect for nothing. Like, it's not like, okay, motherfucker, like, I'll just kill you only, you know? Like, why the fuck do you have to go and hurt my mother, you know? I don't understand that.
What do you think's gonna happen to you now?
Me? Eventually, I'm gonna get killed in prison.
Why do you think you're gonna get killed in prison?
Easy, because one of the main guys is one of the top members in the promotion.
One of the main guys involved in this?
Of all the guys in the state of Arizona. I lived with him for like a month.
Do you feel guilty about anything that you did, or do you feel
No, sir.
Okay.
The only thing I feel guilty is leaving my mother by herself.
So then would you agree that you did this on purpose then? Like your object to going over to Javier to stab him was to kill him, to keep your mom safe. Am I understanding that correctly?
Something like that.
Okay.
Hey, officer, I understand your job and everything. If you want to make me look guilty, do it. Whatever you want to do, you know, which I am.
I'm not. I just want your side of the story, and I want to understand what's going on. That's why I ask these questions.
Yes, but
I mean, I'm.
How was it? Like, how the fuck is my mentality? I have to. All right, I use drugs. Yes, I do. But like, I try not to fuck with nobody. You know, when I see somebody out in the street, like, I try to help them out sometimes. I always try to help out people no matter what. You know, no matter what. Like, and for this to be happening, like, I don't. It has to stop. I don't know how many times it has to stop.
And I understand that, and like I said, I just want to understand everything that's going on. Okay.
A mother being raised.
Those phones that were in the car. I'm gonna download those phones and I'm gonna listen to everything.
There's a lot of pornography, which that's because I don't talk to no females. I keep to myself. I'm a fucking loner, you know.
Well, let me ask you this: Are those phones password protected?
No, they you can just
swipe and they open right up, both of them.
They'll be on lost directory on the play music. Please check. Please check. You guys are gonna check right, like, real carefully. Like, here, listen.
Yeah.
Thank you, officer. Thank you so much.
Was there anybody that told you to do this because of the situation?
No.
It was you that decided you needed to do this.
I'm alone.
Okay. Have you, do you have any medical conditions or anything that you take medication for?
I don't think so.
Do you take any prescription meds for anything? Okay. Do you do any drugs besides meth?
Like weed, that's about it.
Okay. Did you ever get weed from Javier?
I had before in the past.
Bought it from him, or he just gave it to you?
No, he's always. I will hook him up, like, I will hook his ass up, like, for, like, if he needed some butter or whatever, you know. But he will always give me some little shit, like, always. He was this greedy fucking bastard, you know.
Yeah. Was that something that made you angry?
Nah, hell no, I never did. It just made me, like, gosh, man, like, I wish I never fucking talked to that kid.
Yeah.
I wish I never did.
What about, there was a baggie of some weed and some rats
Seeds?
on the ground. No, there was probably 3 buds in the bag.
Where?
On the ground right next to the door.
My door?
No. His door.
Oh, that must have been his.
Did you see it there?
No.
So you're.
What would have been like, oh my god, I got some weed. Fuck, no.
So your DNA, fingerprints, nothing like that are going to be on it?
No, they better not.
Did you take anything from him?
Hell no, I don't want nothing. I didn't want nothing from him.
So you just
stabbed
him.
If it could have been like, hey, stop, man. Stop doing what you're doing to my mother. Stop fucking hurting my family, you know? Please stop. That would have been great, you know? Never stopped. The situation is too fucked up. Fucking, like, who's gonna fucking believe a drug addict like myself, you know?
So you asked him to stop before?
One time I confronted him. I had a knife on me.
Okay.
I asked him, because those are the only weapons I have.
How long ago was that?
Months. Okay, check this out. I had like 3 ounces of meth at the house. I was pushing it a little bit. From there, out of a sudden, every so often, I will sell a little bit, and I will buy myself like this 18-pack of beer, and I will drink just to mellow out, just to be kind of hydrated, and after some, it's when I started putting the recordings, and after a sudden, he will get fronted, like I was saying. After a sudden, like bang, he stopped. He stopped coming to me. Why? Because that crystal meth was, they replaced it with cut, I noticed, like, what the fuck, like, this ain't the same dope. And he just stopped coming, like, from every day thing, or every other day thing, he just stopped. Like, it was obvious that he had a part in it, He just didn't want to mix it.
And this was the most recent batch that you brought up from Mexico?
Yeah, like a year ago or something like that.
Okay. How, from the time that you saw his car to the time that you got over to confront him, how much time do you think elapsed?
10, 15 seconds.
Really, that quick?
Fuck yeah.
Was your dad still in the house when you?
No.
He had left already?
Mm-hmm. My mom, like I was helping my mom with, like, to move the water hose. This was one of the last seconds. That's one of the last seconds I seen the car, and I just like, wow. I was like, I'm gonna get him. Like, I just.
In the time that you went,
I see my mom's legs like the way they are at the moment.
When you went from the backyard to the kitchen and then over to confront him, did it ever cross your mind not to do it, or was your mind made up that that's what was going to happen at that point?
I wasn't thinking, obviously. I'll see how I was not thinking. It's just, I don't know. It's just
you had just decided this is what's going to happen. This is the only way this is going to end. This is what I have to do. Am I understanding that correct?
Something like that. I just, if I wouldn't have stopped him, officer, my mom would have been, my mom. It had to stop. Like, just had to stop.
Okay. Let me ask you this: do you have any injuries or anything on you?
No.
No cuts or anything like that? Okay. Alright.
So in the morning, I wanted to fucking, because of the pain that my mom felt. Like, I seen my mom like that. I grabbed this big old cleaver. I put it to my neck and I pushed it real hard, but there's no marks on it.
No.
Yeah. I pushed it real hard, like, just to, I just put it on the side. That was about it.
Was that after you'd smoked meth?
I don't know, because I passed out. I ended up waking up, like, my mom woke me up today. She's like, yo, wake up. Was you trying to sleep all day? And I was like, no. Because of this situation, I tried to kill myself. Like, took one time, she had her surgery and she had, I don't know, some opiates for the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Man, bro, I took 15 at a time and I did not die. I just wanted to end,
So, how long ago was that?
The pills?
Uh-huh.
Well, my mom's surgery, you guys have to ask her. I don't keep with time. Sometimes I don't even know what day it is because I just don't care what day it is. I don't ask. I don't have phones.
Would you say that it was days ago, weeks
No,
ago?
months. Because of the situation, officer.
Okay. When you did that and you were fine, you didn't die or anything, did you decide that it needed to be taken care of another way because this way wasn't going to work?
To kill myself?
Yeah. Did you decide that the problem with your mom,
I just don't want to feel the pain of what, I don't want to see my mom, you know, knowing that she's getting raped and she's not saying anything about it. I can't go through that shit, you know, like, to see that. No.
Yeah. And so dealing with Javier this way was the only option that you felt you had at that point. Is that correct?
Honestly, deep inside of me, I did not want to hurt nobody, officer. I just wanted to end. That's it. But this one, it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop.
Did you feel like when you saw his car tonight, like it's gonna end right now? I'm done. It's gonna end right now.
Something like that. I don't know. I can't tell you. Like I just seen the car and I don't know.
But you know he's dead, right? Yeah. You know you killed him.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately for you?
No. Unfortunately, he's dead. The situation is fucked up because he lost his life, I lost my freedom, I lost my mom, I lost my life. I can't protect my mother no more. But only to give you the information that I have.
And like I said, we'll go through those phones.
I'm gonna give you everything, all the names that I can. Because I don't want those motherfuckers to be like, yo, he's out the way, you know?
Oh, give me just a second, okay? You need anything else?
I'm gonna lay on the floor still.
Nope, you're good.
Huh?
That's fine.
Cool. Thank you.
Alright, Luis.
Right, Henry.
Getting tired? You have to fall asleep?
Yeah. Shouldn't do that, you know, what you just did.
What? Oh, yeah.
That way with your pistol like that.
Yeah,
you shouldn't do that.
That's a bad day.
That's
bad on me.